You've worked at different levels. You were at Our Lady of the Lake, which I believe was NAIA at the time.
That's
then you
right.
worked at North Dakota, which was Division II?
Division I.
Division I, okay. Now you're working at Division III.
Right.
Do you have a preference?
You know, I've also done JUCO too. Don't forget that. Done junior college. I think I've worked at two different Division I institutions. I've been an assistant coach at a Power 5. I've been the head coach at a mid-major Division I. And I think after being in that, I'm like, man, that's what I want to do. I want to be at that level. It's not for me. And I think, that's just God showing me, here, I'm going to give you what you want, but it's not what you should be doing. So here's a taste, and I'm going to put you where you should be. And I like this Division III level a lot more because I think there's more of a home life balance. I can actually see my kids. I remember one time I spent 3 weekends in a row. I flew to Spokane, Washington, LA, and Atlanta. 3 weekends in a row recruiting. Yeah. And so down there's a little bit more balance here. I also, I love my Division I athletes, but man, I really love the athletes we have here. I have a better connection with them here, and I don't know why, but I really like this level. I like everything about it. I like just the academic balance, the rules that are in place. I just love being here. I love this. I love Schreiner. I love where we're at, and it's a blessing. I get that.
Hey everybody, Ted Davis here. Time for TED Talk here at Schreiner University, and we are joined today by Jeremiah Tiffin, who is the head volleyball coach here at Schreiner in his second season on the job here in the Hill Country, and right now riding a 5-game winning streak. 5-game winning streak right now.
Yeah, that's right. We're doing pretty well. Getting some good playing time, getting on the court, and the players are responding. It's a good time to be playing volleyball right now.
Now, you came here 2 years ago. This is your second season, and it was a program that hadn't won in a while.
Right.
And you started the process of turning that around. What's the first thing you had to do?
The first thing we did when we got here is we looked at just the records, and we're like, okay, what you've been doing hasn't been working. If it had, the wins would have been there. And so we sat down every week in our spring season and we said, what do you want our environment to be? What do you want our culture to be? And the girls came up with like 50 different things. Like, okay, great. We took those 50 things and then we narrowed it down to 20. Okay, now let's narrow it down again. And we got it down, and then we came up with our acronym of support. And, support means showing up. It means understanding and going down that list. And so once we had that, then we had a blueprint to work off of. And then every time there's an issue, we go back to that. And we've done things like, conflict resolution training, which is, a big thing. A lot of people don't know how to do that now. They just go to their phones and their devices instead of talking to people. So we spent a lot of time on that. And I think that was kind of the biggest thing we did is this is how we're going to reverse this. And it worked. I mean, last year we won the most games we'd won in a decade. This year we were on the longest winning streak we've been on since 2009. So some things are working and we're getting better, and I think they've bought in, and the results speak for themselves.
You mentioned connecting because when I started doing NBA games, we didn't have cell phones. We had one bus that we were on.
Right.
And you know what we did? We talked to each other.
It's weird like that, right?
I know. We'd get on the bus every day and we would talk to each other, and that's how you got to know people.
I had that conversation in the training room, I think 2 days ago. And they're like, well, what would you do when you worked out or you ran? Like, you would run.
Yeah.
You didn't have headphones with you. That's what you did. You talked to people. You went with somebody else and you did stuff. Like it's a different world from back then. And so we spend some time away from our phones and doing that stuff.
Yeah. And Greg Popovich, a very successful coach, as you know,
somewhat,
would have dinners with the team. And Mike Budenholzer, when he came to Milwaukee, did the same thing. He called it breaking bread. And he would take the entire team to a really nice restaurant, and the team would pay for it, and it'd be after the game. But there was a rule. You had to turn your cell phone off during the meal.
Right.
We're not taking any calls. We're not looking at Twitter. We're not texting. We're going to talk to each other.
Right.
And that works, doesn't it?
Yeah. No, it does. I mean, we're going to go, we're headed up to Southwestern this weekend, and we're going to go Friday night. We're going to go sit down, and I think it's going to be our first sit-down dinner of the year. And that's our rule, is when we're sitting down, there's no phones. And so that'll be a good way to start our weekend.
Yeah. 7 more wins last year. So it's one thing to talk about improving, but when you say something and now they see the results on the floor and on the court, how big is that for you, for them to go, oh, yeah, now I see what you're talking about?
Film sessions are great. I mean, we had one this morning, and it was like, oh, my gosh, that's what I look like. Like, yeah, we've been talking about this. oh, look, you did it right here, and look what happened. And I think that's the biggest thing, is when you see them make the change and all of a sudden it works, and that light goes off from their head and they feel it. That's the best feeling. Like, that's why you coach, is you want to see those improvements and those little things. And so they see it on the film, they see it in the results. We show them the stats, like, look at where you were last year. This is what you're doing this year. It shows. And since they see it, they keep buying in and doing it.
Talking to Jeremiah Tiffin, he's the volleyball coach here at Schreiner. You've got a couple of fifth-year seniors, so that's the age on your team with Brooke Byer and Jackie Sotelo. And then you've got some young guys,
right?
Young kids, young ladies that are playing really well. Is that a good mix when you've got the seniors and the young players both contributing?
It is. We've got, so like Jackie's 22. She turns 23 later this year, I believe. I think in December. Hopefully I'm getting that right. And we have 2 that turned 18 last month. And so there's a big gap there. But what it shows is you have these fifth-year players and our seniors as well that played under a previous coach and didn't and had been part of a program that didn't have the success that they wanted to have. And now they're here and they're seeing the success. And it's a lot easier for them to go, hey, young kids, no, this is what we're going to do. We've been through the bad times. We know this is the better times. Here's why you buy in. And it's coming from that experience. If we were all, freshmen, sophomores, juniors, we're running around just, what's going on. But we have that experience. And it's not the experience of winning, because we don't have that, but it's the experience of just having experience and saying, this is what's worked, this is what hasn't worked. And because of that, they've actually spent a lot of time communicating with those younger kids on, hey, this is what our expectations are, this is all that. And it's been great. I love having a mix of old and young. I don't like being young, but I do like being old and young and having that mix.
Who are some of the younger players that are doing well?
So we've got 5 freshmen that have made some good contributions this year. But the first one is Gianna Hilliard has come in. She locked down a starting outside spot right away, and she's top 10 in the conference in kills per set. She's top 10 in hitting percentage. And as a freshman outside hitter, that's awesome. Like, her last 2 matches, she's hit over 400 in each match. That's amazing. Like, think baseball. You're hitting over 400, you're doing something right. So she's doing great there. Harley Gillespie is one of our setters, and she's set in every match we played this year. And we're running the tempo that we want to run. And as a team, once again, relating it to batting averages, we've taken our hitting percentage up 50 points this year. That's a big difference. And some of that is our hitters getting better, and some of that is Harley coming in and doing some good stuff. So those 2 have done a really good job. We've also had Jesse Garner, our lefty, has been in and out and done some good things and is learning. Emma Fry, a middle, stepped in, done a lot of good stuff. And, Mackenzie, too, came in last night, passed really well off the bench, has done some good stuff, started a match for us. So all of them have done a great job as freshmen. I'm overjoyed with that class right now.
You've worked at different levels. You were at Our Lady of the Lake, which I believe was NAIA at the time.
That's
then you
right.
worked at North Dakota, which was Division II?
Division I.
Division I,
Yep.
okay. Now you're working at Division III.
Right.
Do you have a preference?
I've also done JUCO too. Don't forget that.
Okay.
Done junior college. I think I've worked at 2 different Division I institutions. I've been an assistant coach at a Power 5. I've been the head coach at a mid-major Division I. And I think after being in that, I'm like, man, that's what I want to do. I want to be at that level. It's not for me. And I think, that's just God showing me, here, I'm going to give you what you want, but it's not what you should be doing. So here's a taste, and I'm going to put you where you should be. And I like this Division III level a lot more, because I think there's more of a home life balance. I can actually see my kids. I remember one time I spent 3 weekends in a row. I flew to Spokane, Washington, L.A., and Atlanta. 3 weekends in a row recruiting.
Yeah.
And so down there's a little bit more balance here. I also, I love my Division I athletes, but man, I really love the athletes we have here. I have a better connection with them here, and I don't know why, but I really like this level. I like everything about it. I like just the academic balance, the rules that are in place. I just love being here. I love this. I love Schreiner. I love where we're at, and it's a blessing that I get to experience it.
Well, I spent 37 years at the major league level, and there's a lot of me at that level. Got to get my points, my contract, my money, and I came here not knowing what to expect from Division III, and I'm like you. I've really enjoyed it because there's kind of a purity here that the kids that come here want to get an education. That's what they're here for.
Yeah.
First and foremost, really, and the athletic part is a component of that. But they want to get out of here with a degree where they can go do something. And there's a purity there that I enjoy. Have you enjoyed that?
I really have, because I think if you look at the Division I stuff, I think it is becoming more of a, and it's already there, but it's more of a professional thing. If you're not performing, then we've got to let you go. Because if I don't let you go, I don't get to keep my job.
Right.
And for me, that was tough. I really struggled with that, and that's not something I ever want to do again, where I have to go to someone and say, hey, I've got to let you go because there's someone better coming in and they're going to do this. I don't like doing that, because to me, I want everybody to have the same college experience that I had. I met my roommates and 3 of my groomsmen the first 2 weeks at school, but I was there all 4 years. I was able to do all those things, and I don't want to have someone come here and then 2 years later be like, yeah, sorry, this isn't for you. I don't want that to come from me, and that's why I think this is a great spot. It's because we're not going to do that here. You come here, you're going to be here for 4 years unless you decide to leave, because I don't want you to leave, right? And so that's being able to do that here, I think, is great. And I think at the Division I level, that's obviously the goal. But it's getting a lot tougher to do that, and I don't think I'm the right coach to do that at that level. I think I'm more my skill set is a lot better at this level, and I think that's showing in our results.
Well, conference play begins pretty soon. You've got a couple of more non-conference games, and then it begins, and you're always going to have to deal with Trinity,
right,
and Colorado College. But in talking to you before we started this, the entire conference is tough this year.
The entire conference is really good. I mean, we've got 9 teams in conference this year, and I think there's 1 team that's not above 500, and that's with Colorado and Trinity and Southwestern and TLU and St. Thomas playing hard non-conference schedules. Dallas has got 9 wins. Austin's 8-1. There's across the board, our conference is great, and so there's no easy matches this year.
So the goal is to make the tournament.
The goal is to make the tournament. Top 6 make the tournament. That's our goal. And I think we're going to need. Last year, if you didn't go 8-8, you didn't make the conference tournament. I believe 8-8 is what you needed. So we got to win half our matches, and I think that's doable. But we have to play at our level. I don't think we can't go in and play at 75% of our level and expect to beat a Southwestern, expect to beat a Trinity. We have to be at that high level because those are great teams, well-coached teams. And so, but we are getting there to our ceiling is a lot higher than it's been in the past. Our floor is a lot higher than it's been in the past. And so I'm excited this weekend. Southwestern, TLU, St. Thomas, Colorado, right away. For the top 6. Let's go. Let's get after it. So it'll be good.
That gets the blood flowing, doesn't it?
Exactly.
That's when it starts to count. Jeremiah Tiffin has been our guest, volleyball coach here at Schreiner, doing a great job in his 2nd season, riding a 5-game winning streak, and good luck this weekend.
I appreciate it, Ted. Always good to be here.
All right, Jeremiah Tiffin, that's TED Talk. See you next time.